Blessed are those who trust in the Lord, whose trust is in the Lord.
They shall be like a tree planted by water, sending out its roots by the stream.
It shall not fear when heat comes, and its leaves shall stay green.
In the year of the drought, it is not anxious, and it does not cease to bear fruit.
The past 7 months have turned our world upside down. We aren't able to gather right now. We continue to see members leave the area and the state, often for financial reasons. And we are rising to meet this moment. From online worship, led by our tireless skeleton crew, to new ministries like Project Sandwich, to ongoing ministries like Open Door Dinner, connection groups, our Sacred Ground study groups, and so many other efforts. We are stepping up to help our communities, to be there for our neighbors and for each other. This is a critical moment for us to ensure that we will continue to be stewards of our church and our communities in the months and years to come. This may be an anxious, turbulent time, but we remain. We are a rock that has made it through so many other challenges in our 100-year-plus history, and we will make it through this time as well. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we are here for you. And we will be here for you on that joyous day when we can gather together once more at the corner of Cedar and Spruce.
One of the biggest threads in the financial life of All Souls over the past several years has been the gift of Ann Jordan that has allowed us to expand and grow our church. Building on the trust from Ann Jordan that inspired the gift, several generations of vestries and finance committees have trusted that they can find a way to make that gift serve God. And so the parish house comes down and Jordan Court will rise, welcoming people to a safe, comfortable, and community-based housing. The trust is rising next door. Additionally, we have used the earnings from the Jordan gift to grow and expand the church beyond where we would have been able to using only the resources from the current community. We have trusted in the Lord that this growth will be nurturing and welcoming both to ourselves and to people we haven't met yet. Trust has built the church into what it is today and will carry us into the next phase. Like most professional and nonprofit organizations, the biggest expense we have is our personnel. We spend approximately 68% of our expenses on the staff. And in our case, it's people who help us create the environment and the structure to do the work of the kingdom.
I do a lot of emails.
Let's see, there's texting.
Well, I spend a lot of time on Zoom.
Providing logistical support to either staff members or parishioners.
Looking at scripture readings for each service, as well as the larger theological and ecclesiological significance of different days and seasons of our liturgical calendar.
Talking to people, getting connected, hosting youth group over Zoom and children's book club.
And calling and somehow making contact with people of the parish after they come out of surgery, after they've lost a job, when they're thinking about moving. That's happened a lot. Or just about any time when they need someone to look at their lives and bless them.
I draw music from many thousands of hymns and psalms and anthems and chants and songs.
I do a lot of communicating with people, making sure that people have what they need to do the work that they want to be doing here at All Souls.
Format and create the bulletin.
It also looks like hours and hours of reading and listening and praying as I write Pathfinders every week or as I prepare to preach with this parish.
I do this on a Google spreadsheet that allows me to sort of be constantly looking ahead.
Plunging toilets or calling plumbers when that's not enough.
Learning about streaming software, insurance.
Dream up new ways that we can deepen our community.
Getting to be in a relationship, getting to be part of a community who works together to figure out what it means to be a Christian in our world today.
It means supporting and guiding, cheerleading, and blessing so much of the life that takes place that comes from the corner of Cedar and Spruce.
So where does that leave us? It leaves us aspiring to a sustainable budget, a budget where we support ourselves with the current gifts from the congregation. We're projecting a 5.5% increase in donations over the next 2 years, 2021 and 2022. We anticipate that our other income from rentals and gifts will be lower because of the lack of space and the impact from COVID, but we anticipate that our expenses will increase. Typically, actually, all of these expenses have really increased by the cost of living, a 4% increase in the expenses each year, largely driven by cost of living increases for the staff. But we continue to have this gap. And that's where we have the opportunity to grow into the church that we've become and that we want to be. I encourage you to think carefully and thoughtfully about your pledge and support the life of all souls. And so we trust in the Lord and we trust in you. We are thankful for the support that you've given us to bring us this far. And we trust that as a Christian community, we can grow into a sustainable budget.
When we have consistent, planned giving by the whole breadth of our membership at All Souls, we can be like a tree, standing tall and supporting all of the many branches of our church, like meaningful ministry, worship, education, a living salary for all of our staff, and giving back to our neighbors and community. When members pledge, we can feel confident in our budget and then turn our focus to other things. We can plan new projects and ministries and new ways to welcome people to All Souls. Here's how some All Soulsians think about their pledging.
I've actually never really pledged to any other church except All Souls.
Well, I got really interested in personal finance and budgeting a couple years ago, and suddenly the talk about pledging and stewardship made a lot more sense to me.
Well, I mean, I'm a cradle Episcopalian. I was born and raised in the church, so I pledged to a church, whatever church I was attending, for forever.
I decided to start with the Stewardship Campaign. Actually, in 2015, I had never heard a church describe stewardship as a spiritual practice.
I had just been donating on Sundays or, donating when I remembered to. But I realized that when I pledge, it really helps the church. Even if I'm not giving any more money, even if I'm giving the same amount of money, it really helps the church plan their future programming and ministry and just everything that is upcoming for the next year.
Was just choosing a number that I thought would be adequate. And then I realized, and I looked at, how much money I've spent on other things. And I said, oh, well, proportionally you allocate a percentage of your budget for certain things, right? Whether it be rent or purchasing, a new TV and whatnot. And so I figured, hey, looking at pledging should be in the same vein.
We have traditionally tried to tithe, so give 10% of our income, but we give that to many organizations, and of that, we try to put about half of that into our church home, into All Souls.
I must say, in the last few years, I have started doing proportional giving. And that has changed the way I think about how much I'm going to pledge. It's no longer just, it doesn't start out being a dollar amount that I'm thinking about. It starts out thinking about what the church means to me, what my blessings are from God and from the community. It's more an offering.
I mean, I think in general, I've learned a lot about myself and how I think about money and how I look at providing support to things that I care about.
I feel so much more connected to All Souls. I feel like I'm a contributing member.
So it has been a wonderful way for me to deepen what it means to be engaged in community and how that connects to what I believe about spirituality.
Has humbled me. I've worked a lot with middle schoolers over the last 3 or 4 years, and having conversations with them and getting those hard questions and having them push back against all that's hard and confusing and wrong in the world has, made me want to get down there with them and roll up my sleeves and not be afraid to serve wherever that is, whatever that means.
What I love about All Souls are the people, the music, the mission of All Souls, and of course, all the great works that it does.
The staff and the community in general, and the talent and the cleverness and the openness, the flexibility.
That people are willing to be in community with each other beyond just showing up on Sunday.
I am just so struck by how deeply loved and fully accepted I feel by it. It truly is my family.
And I just really love that this community is not only there for each other, but there to figure out together, to journey together, to figure out what does it mean to be a Christian in these times.
For many years, I avoided the church. Probably close to 50 years I avoided the church, although I was raised in the Episcopal Church and it was really a part of our family. And then coming to All Souls, it really has brought a lot of that back for me. And it's quite lovely.
What the prophet says is not that the heat will not come down to bear, because it will. What the prophet says is that it will not be difficult, because it will be. What the prophet says is those who trust in the Lord, who are planted by these streams of water, will not be anxious when the drought comes, which it feels like it has, both literally and metaphorically. But why is it that the tree is not anxious? I believe the tree is not anxious because it knows that there is a source of water that is never ending. That source for us is the life of the Spirit, the life of Christ, the life in God that we have come to know and relish in All Souls Parish. It's seen in many ways. You've heard them already in this video, but it's something that consistently meets us where we are and makes more of us. It's what sustains me. I have to say that when I had returned from sabbatical and I came to Sunday morning again, the feeling that welled up inside me is, I'm in, because this is a place that sustains me. And I hope and I trust that it is a place that sustains you. So I ask that you be willing, generous, as you have been, and continue to help this place be a place that not only sustains you and those you love, but many, many more. People in Berkeley, people in the East Bay, and really now people around the world. Sustained because of the roots of this tree that is sustained even in times of drought.
Over the next few weeks, we will be asking you to share your fruits,
to share your commitment to God
and our community. Especially now, there is much work to do, and we can do it together. Whether this year has put you in a tough financial spot,
or you are on firm financial ground, please prepare to trust, to share in the fruits of God's blessing.
you'll be hearing from the Stewardship Committee in the Pathfinder and on Soulcast each week for the next few weeks. You may receive an email, a letter, or a call from us. As we get close to In-Gathering Sunday on October 25th, we will be offering you different pledge options, a real physical pledge card, or a Google form. We'll have more information soon about our special celebration on October 25th, which we are planning to have include an in-person component. See you then.
That was great.
It seemed okay to me, but I'm not very good at this stuff.